A comment was made by a couple of my colleagues. We've seen this movie before, and I won't disagree with that. The movie we've seen is that tax reform done right results in significant economic growth. And we say time and time again, this is the first time in 31 years that we've had a chance to make fundamental reforms to our tax code. Everybody around this dais agrees that the tax code is broken. If they don't, they haven't been paying attention. Certainly our constituents feel that way, but importantly, American workers are losing out every single day. We have a totally uncompetitive, antiquated tax code that is consigning our workers, who we represent, to a non-competitive position where they're competing with one hand tied behind their back. And every economist who looks at this says that if you do the kinds of things we're talking about here to make our businesses competitive, to make our workers competitive, it is going to help. Now, they disagree on how much, but the economic growth in this thing is very much like a movie we've seen before, which was the 1986 reforms that ended up with economic growth, both in the 80s and the 90s, that everyone loves to take credit for, Republican and Democrat alike. So my hope was that we would look at this a little differently, which is this is an opportunity for us to work together to actually stimulate this economy and get it moving. The Congressional Budget Office tells us that the growth over the next 10 years will be 1.9%. That's their projection.
Mr. Chairman, may I just respond in
Mr.
my
Chairman, we
amendment?
have several colleagues, and I'd like to touch on it too, Senator.
I think I have the time. Mr. Chairman, what is this? I mean, every time I start talking, I get interrupted.
That's right.
So, I mean, I'm not interrupting you guys.
Senator Portman.
Congressional Budget Office says 1.9% growth. I don't know if any of my colleagues around the table thinks that that is something that is satisfactory. 1.9% growth? Are you kidding? We can do better than that. If we grow 0.4% more than that, 2.3% economic growth, this will not only be something that doesn't affect the deficit, it then starts to actually pay the deficit down. I certainly think we're going to see that kind of growth if we do the right things. Not every tax cut pays for itself. That's, of course, true. But the right kind of tax relief does. And I believe we have designed this thing. By the way, there's been a bipartisan consensus in the past on these kind of pro-growth elements that are in this bill. I've mentioned before that the Working Group on International with Chuck Schumer, this is exactly what we came up with, a territorial system, a lower tax rate, having some sort of provisions on base erosion. That's just what we got here. This is going to create economic growth, and we may have a difference of how much. But our concern is not that this tax reform proposal is going to cause big holes in the deficit. It is that we're not going to pass it so that we can begin to give our workers the ability to compete and get this economy moving again. We just had 3% growth last quarter. We had 3.1% the quarter before. Over the last 25 years, the average is 2.5%. Is 2.4% too much to ask for? I don't think so.
Senator, the time